It's not what happens, it's what you do.
I've been suffering all my life. I'm sorry. It's not enough.
The only way you're ever going to get to the other side of this journey is you have got to suffer to grow. To grow, you must suffer.
You know what it's like to be poor, and you know what it's like to work hard. Now you're going to learn what it's like to sweep floors and bust your ass and accomplish twice as much as all the kids around you. And it won't mean anything because they will still look down on you. And you will want so much for them to like you, and they just won't. But you don't get the easy path.
Rest at the end, not in the middle. Rest at the end, not in the middle.
First hope is made from the ashes of heroes, like the first monkey shot into space. Without pain, without sacrifice, he would have nothing.
People don't give a how they remembered. I'm there. Okay, I failed. But I was right there. What did I miss? What did I miss? Oh, that's what I missed. And then it happens.
If you think you can, you can. If you think you can, you can.
You need to suffer as a man, bro, to become the best version of yourself. That's just how it is.
You and me, we don't even have a choice. See, we're born with a killer instinct that you can't just turn off and on like some radio. We have to be right in the middle of the action because we're the warriors. And without some challenge, without some damn war to fight, then the warrior may as well be dead, Stallion.
I know you can do it. You know you can do it. But you have to actually do it.
People get defeated by their alarm clock. People's motivation gets defeated by their pillow. People's motivation gets defeated by a donut. And they end up in terrible situations. They end up not healthy. They end up having problems. They're not physically capable. All that starts with their will.
You do not go like that, man. You are unpredictable. Serve your will. Use your anger intelligently.
How bad do you want this? If it's as bad as you want to live or breathe or sleep, whatever the hell it may be, I can work with you. But a lot of people, most people don't want it that badly, which is why they always ask the question, man, how did you get to where you are? You know how to do it. You know exactly how to be you or how to be me. You don't want to do it.
Who put you in a situation to mess your life up? You got to get yourself out of it. Life was never going to be a full, clean slate of just no chaos, no problems. You have to learn how to deal with this shit. That's a part of becoming a man.
Some of the best athletes, the greatest athletes in the world, do things when they're uncomfortable. You know, everybody can compete when they're feeling good, happy, excited, rested. But it's the best people who can overcome when they're tired, sore.
Losers let it happen. Winners make it happen. Losers see thunderstorms. Winners see rainbows. Losers see icy streets. Winners put on their ice skates. Losers take chances. Winners make choices.
Go do something that's painful, whether it be from physical pain or fear. And most of the time, if you can find that and go towards it, go looking for that pain, especially at that young age when your testosterone's so high, then you're probably doing the right thing. You're probably on the right path. Do that.
Emily, I want you to close your eyes right now and imagine yourself in 6 months if you just locked in today. Now keep on imagining, because those dreams are going to stay in your pillow until you do something about it. You're folding. That's between you and you.
And everybody has a limit, but find it first.
You got a limit?
I haven't found it yet.
I don't think you have.
You haven't found it yet.
If I can take it, I can make it. Brother P used to say that. He used to think that I could do anything. He used to think that I was better than I am. He says,
Tomorrow's another day, and tomorrow will probably be a better day. Today, we'll do what we can. You can do it, but you're going to have to do it.
What are you going to do starting tomorrow that'll make a difference? Now see, if you don't do something starting tomorrow that'll make a difference, guess what? It's gonna be the same. And see, that way you can guess what the next 5 years are gonna be like. Look at the last 5. Because the next 5 are gonna be like the last 5 unless you, major key, tomorrow, change it all. Or change a little, or change something, or don't change. It's choice time. You can do whatever you want. But it's nice to know any day you wish you can change your whole life.
Whatever you do, don't waste it. Don't cry about it. Get up and go make it happen.
What that window is, how you want to do it, but make a commitment, show up every day, and then there's no excuse, regardless of whether anything gets made during that window.
Success is not reached by giving up. Like, it's impossible. Giving up and quitting is only going to put you back to square one. I was frustrated, I was exhausted, I was burnt out, and I didn't let that stop me. I was this close, but I didn't let that stop me. Like I said, bro, like, you're one step away from a breakthrough. You're one step away from growing and, experiencing success, seeing your growth. You're one step away.
No one's coming back to save me. No one's coming back to pull me to the finish line. This is on you.
Consistency doesn't guarantee that you'll be successful, but not being consistent will guarantee that you won't reach success.
Few men are born brave. Many become so through care and force of discipline.
I've failed so many times, at least I've learned not to repeat the same one. Failure is a stepping stone instead of a stumbling block. It's a temporary inconvenience. It is a learning experience. Never carry failure forward.
It's 2 people born in a hospital every day. It's a person that's born in a hospital that's going to get a job, and somebody born in a hospital that's going to give them a job. You get to decide which one you're going to be.
Like, life is dead as a video game. Next level, next level, next level. Things keep getting harder and harder and harder. And if you want to beat the game of life, man, you're going to have to keep trying. When you play a certain game and you lose, and you gotta start over from the beginning. Same thing, you gotta keep trying, gotta keep trying.
If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're gonna keep getting what you've been getting. So if you're at a place in your life and you ain't happy with it, you have to change some things.
At the end of the day, nobody cares what we're going through, how your body feels. Nobody cares. We gotta do our job, and we emphasize that to each other again today. Hey, I got your back, you got mine. Nobody cares, man. We gotta go.
Welcome to the first day of your new life. A life where you decide every moment of every day to better yourself, to make those uncomfortable choices to get you where you want to be.
I talked to all my athletes. I said, describe winning in one word to me. And everybody would think about, they would be like, it's happy, it's euphoric, it's all those things. And it is. But those constant winners, their answers were, it's unpolished. It's uncivilized. It's nasty. It's hard. It's dirty. It's unforgiving. And then Kobe comes up and says, it's everything.
You were born to win, and you learn over a lifetime how not to. As a child, don't do this, sit down, be a good boy, get in your place, do this. Then the world starts treating you. And I think you move further and further away from your own nature. I think we were born to win. We were born to do something great with our life.
Listen to the voice from within, the energy inside, knowing you can be more than this. There are no limitations, excuses, negative energy.
No matter what you're doing in your life, you need to let discipline be your guide, not how you feel. That's what we need to do. And if you do that, you're going to end up with freedom.
The truth is, you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts.
Everything worthwhile is uphill. And today's word is uphill. You see, every dream that you've ever had, it's all uphill. If you build a wonderful business, guess what? It was uphill.
If you've made the right decisions, they're not easy, are they? It's uphill. And the only way that you can go uphill is to be intentional. Nobody ever accidentally went uphill. You've never talked to a successful person and said, how did you get to the top of the mountain? And then look at you and say, I have no idea. If they're at the top of the mountain, they know how they got there.
Everyone says, I'm afraid to become that person.
Yeah.
You should be more afraid not to become that person.
It's time to bring the you and the best you out of you. There are no limitations. Put yourself in a position to go hard, to go further than you ever could. Now again, I'm not asking you to go crazy with it, but put yourself in a position and say to yourself, hey, look, if my life was on the line, how much am I willing to give? How much am I willing to push myself?
Like, yo, it doesn't matter if you grow up rich. You still got to play your hand. It's not like life says, all right, you rich, so you're not going to have any, your parents will never get cancer. It doesn't work like that. Like, you still have to do life regardless of how you come into life. And I think some people feel, well, if you come into life and everything is great, then that's the way you live life. But no, it doesn't matter. If you come in great, if you come in poorly, it does not matter. You have to do life, and if you're smart, you do life on your terms, and you don't let life make you do it on its terms.
Doesn't matter if you won before. What's the difference? What the halftime score? It's never over till the final gun. Is there one? Keep on trying when you find you one. You grab your dream and then believe it. Go out and serve. You'll achieve it.
You're going to have to wake up, and you're going to have to sit there and say, today's going to suck. And then when that day is over, you're going to wake up again and say, the next day's going to suck. And that's going to be your life.
Here's the challenge. We have uphill hopes, but we have downhill habits. That's not a good combination. So if you want to go uphill, get rid of the downhill habits. Quit coasting. No one ever wrote a book on accidental achievements. Nah.
The reason it takes so long is because you're in a rush. Big things don't happen on small timelines because you have to start from zero over and over again. And if you actually stick with it, it's actually the shortest way to get to where you want to go. It just takes longer than you think.
If you really want to be the best at what you do, the best at your craft, you have to be different from the pack. What don't you understand about that? Stop asking questions like, why am I not the best? Why is he getting it? It's because you're not working the hardest. It's simple as that. Work don't lie.
You're not waiting for the right moment to start. You're starting, and you're doing it every day, and you're doing it at the same time every day, and you're building the habit of, I'm going to sit here every day, even if it's just to sit here and be bored. Something good will eventually come from that practice, whatever it is.
Go the route that's least traveled and master that over there. Stop flocking. The masses are asses. Stop going where the crowd going. Be better than them. People are better than other people, not because they're better human, because of shit that they're doing. If I'm better than you because I got my life in order, well, I'm better than you. It's your fault your shit is not intact.
You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. That's the challenge. And of course, the other side of the coin reads, unless you change how you are, you'll always have what you got.
It's hard when you're young to wake up in the off season at 6 a.m. to go train and work out, knowing that all your friends are sleeping in and eating pancakes. It's hard when you're on your way to practice, way down with all your gear, and it's 90 degrees out and all the other kids are at the pool or at the beach, and your body is already completely exhausted from workouts in 2 days.
You should be a monster. You know, because everyone says, well, you should be harmless, virtuous. You shouldn't do anyone any harm. You should sheath your competitive instinct. You shouldn't try to win. You know, you don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be too assertive. You want to take a back seat and all of that. It's like, no, wrong. You should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it.
I had big dreams. A lot of us have big dreams, big goals. And when you have goals that are maybe outside your reach, you have to know that getting to that goal, you're gonna have a lot of bad days, a lot of setbacks. So like when I was losing 106 pounds in 3 months, the first 2 months or first 2 weeks, it's like I was gaining weight. You know, I would lose a pound, gain 2.
A lot of people are afraid to even try hard because then if you try hard and you fail, you feel like a failure. But the aspect of being a failure doesn't come from the success in the end. It comes from if you really quit on yourself, or if you don't put in the effort you know you can put in, you're kind of holding back on your true potential.
There is no dark without light. There is no heaven without hell.
Everybody has a 24-hour day. There's very few use all 24 hours for the betterment of what's tomorrow can be. Today, take this hour and a half workouts. And we ensure we have no regrets on what's coming. Because things like limitation, fear, excuses, they don't exist. We left them with with our ego. We're in here only for betterment.
No one's going to save you. No one's going to come out of the woods and say, hey, I got your back, man. I want to take you from all this shit. Some people get that, but very few of us do. So the only person coming to save you is yourself.
Every single person who wants to do something with their life and has done something with their life has gone through the exact chapter that you're going through, and it's the lonely chapter. It's the chapter where you don't fit in with your own friends, but you don't have the outcomes yet to fit into a new group of friends. And you're doing this thing, you're consuming content on the internet, you're doing these free tutorials online to try and figure out how to set up a podcast and where do I host this thing, and then you're going through this and you're like, is this even worth it? Because you have no signs of success, right?
And remember that we are not here long. And time is fleeting. It is ever fleeting, so you might as well make it a good, hard run. And get after it.
You can't quit. You can't give up. No matter what it is you're trying to achieve, no matter what goal you're trying to reach, no matter what type of success you're trying to have in your life, you can't give up. You can't quit. Success is never reached by giving up. Success is never reached by quitting.
Staying focused is like beating addiction. It's not a one-time victory. You have to fight it all day, every day. Then wake up and do it again tomorrow. Because the thing that's going to distract you is going to change every day. The thing that's going to trigger your addiction to distraction is going to keep morphing and changing its form so that it can steal or rob you of your future. And so you have to be adaptable in knowing that you have to fight it every day. And so it's not good enough to just say, I was focused for this week. You've got to wake up on the 8th day and the 9th day and do it again.
If you have big goals and big dreams, along the way, failure is going to happen. So how fast do you get up from that? And you got to teach yourself that. But the biggest key to success in anything you do is you got to have an unlimited supply of this drive and passion. And it may come from nothing. Like for me, there was no passion, no drive, no nothing. But I had this fire that I'm going to be somebody. And it has to be there because on all those bad days and all those days you don't want to do shit, you have to be your own motivator, your own coach, your own trainer, your own everything.
So what you waiting on? Do you want to be here right now? And I don't mean like here. I mean here in a cosmic sense, bro. Like, existence could be beautiful or it could be ugly. But that's on you. Dream. You gotta find out the future you're fighting for.
When you're pushing to be better, when you're trying to progress your life, when you're trying to improve your situation, it is always going to feel like a struggle. It's always going to feel extra hard, and you're always going to feel like you're f***ed up. That is the nature of what it feels like to push into new territory.
Just do your best and leave the rest, and 'twill all come right someday or night. Just stop, have a cup of coffee and a cigar, let the snow pass, and then go back out and keep going.
Stop complaining about the results you didn't get from the work you didn't put in. The only way to become more successful than most people is to be willing to do something most people aren't willing to do.
You feel like giving up. Everybody goes through that. You realizing every day is not as easy as you thought it would be. We all realize that at some point. When I feel like giving up, you know what I tell myself? You started this for a reason. You started doing everything in your life for a reason. You knew it was going to be hard, but when it's starting to get hard, you're restraining from going hard. You're trying to pull yourself back into easy mode. Easy is not going to get it done. When it gets hard, you go hard because it never gets easy. You just get better.
Several people live to be 100 years old and they have great lives and they have great kids. Their kids go to college and all sorts of stuff. But somewhere in their life, there was a point where they had a decision to make. They can go left or right on this path. Left was the easy route. Right was the hard route. A lot of people take the easy route. And they had a good life that way, but the better life was going to the right side. And you may have 20 years of pain and suffering to get past it, but a lot of us die never truly starting our journey.
Winning is not supposed to be fair. Life is not fair. There's nothing that's going to guarantee you that win. But the only thing that's going to guarantee you that loss is if you don't get in this race.
Life is difficult. It really is. What makes life difficult for a lot of people is they don't think life should be difficult. And so therefore, they're looking for a quick way, a quick answer, an easy way. There are none. It truly is uphill all the way. And to go uphill, you have to be intentional. Nobody ever accidentally climbed a mountain. Nobody ever accidentally got up to a new level.
Mediocre people don't like high achievers, and high achievers don't like mediocre people.
You don't get done today, you can do tomorrow. And everybody may not be happy about that, but your life ain't about everybody else's happiness.
It's supposed to be difficult. That makes it worth it. That makes it better. That makes you better. You want it to be when it comes to something that you was trying to do with your life. You've learned something even though you failed. You went through certain things. You may not realize it now, but when you start over and you start to make decisions, everything that you went through in the past, you're going to use, whether it's subconsciously or consciously.
I was just telling someone life is a video game, bro. You just gotta figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Life comes with many bumps and turns and, you know, hills and valleys. You just gotta figure out how to get through it and navigate it, bro, and get to the next objective.
The harder that you try, the easier it gets.
But you have to go to a place of fear, of suffering, of pain, of doubt. And that's when your mind, if it knows it's not going to quit, it opens up. And once it opens up, that's my 40% rule. Once you can open your mind up when it knows it's not going to quit, it finds more.
I'm doing all this work. I'm trying hard. This is so hard. This is chaos and nothing's happening. So I must be doing it wrong. And that's not reality, okay? You have to understand, just like if you were going to get into a cold swimming pool, when you first jump in there, it's cold. And you jump out of the water and you're like, oh, you can't breathe. And then after a few minutes, it's normal. You don't even notice it, all right? And so what you're going through is the acclimation process to expanding the boundaries in your life. And it's completely normal to feel that way. Anybody who pushes hard to get better feels that way. And the reason that you don't know more people that feel that way is that because the minute that it starts to feel the way that you're feeling, most people stop.
So my whole thing is it doesn't matter who you are today. It only matters who you want to become and the price you're willing to pay to get there.
I have to do more. I have to do better. I have to be better. I have to work harder. I have to take myself to the limits and further, because now that's my standard. And now I need to overcome that standard to really impress anyone. Like the whole thing is showing your cards. As soon as someone knows you're good, how good you are, that's a baseline. You have to be better than that to be like, okay.
When I was 19 years old, I was going through the Air Force trying to be a pararescueman. I was doing push-ups, sit-ups, swimming. I was doing all this shit, knocking out of the park. One of the best in the class. But the second the obstacle got in my way, I wasn't prepared for it mentally. I was a beast. All I was doing was I was training a bigger, stronger, faster quitter. You gotta train your mind for all obstacles that might get in your way. Stay hard.
Pick up your damn suffering and bear it. And try to be a good person so you don't make it worse. Well, that's a truth. You know, I read a lot about the terrible things that people have done to each other. You just cannot even imagine it. It's so awful. So you don't want to be someone like that. Now, do you have a reason to be? Yes. You have lots of reasons to be. God, there's reasons to be resentful about your existence. Everyone you know is going to die. You know, you too. And there's going to be a fair bit of pain along the way, and lots of it's going to be unfair. It's like, yeah, no wonder you're resentful. It's like, act it out and see what happens. You make everything you're complaining about infinitely worse. There's this idea that hell is a bottomless pit, and that's because no matter how bad it is, some stupid son of a bitch like you could figure out a way to make it a lot worse. So you think, well, what do you do about that? Well, you accept it. That's what life is like. It's suffering.
Failure is a compelling protagonist towards achieving your goals. So use failure. Be scared. Be very scared of failure, and you will succeed. The most successful minds in the world, they are profoundly scared of going bust, and they work double hard.
If you allow your feelings to dictate what you do, you will end up being a slave to your feelings at a minimum. But if you utilize discipline in your life, you will end up with the ultimate freedom in everything that you do. So that is why you, as a person out there doing your job, whatever that job may be, impose discipline in your life. It will set you free.
If you have some fear, you're probably doing the right thing. If you're comfortable, I'm not saying you're doing the wrong thing, but the bigger the risk, the bigger the dream, the bigger the fear may possibly be in that moment until you realize it's not so bad. But you have to go through that. Some of us have to start over. There's nothing wrong with starting over. You know, if you start over from the bottom, that gives you purpose. That is what's going to give you that urge to keep going, even when you don't feel like continuing. You at the bottom. You can only look up. What do I always say? The higher the mountain, the better the view once you reach the top. Get to the peak of that mountain, but it's going to take a whole lot of effort, isn't it?
Stop worrying about what's behind you. Nothing you can do about it. Your past is your past for a reason. I gotta keep moving forward. I gotta keep pushing myself forward. I can't worry about what's behind me. I gotta keep moving forward. And that's all you can do. Because tomorrow, if it's promised to you or me, it's another day. It's a new day. And it's definitely going to be something different than what happened right now. So what we do today can honestly set us up for a better day tomorrow. So hope for the best, as we all should.
Mediocrity feels so good. So we love surrounding ourselves with mediocre people. They give us a get out of jail free card. Whenever life gets hard for us, they tell us it's all okay. Don't worry about it. We don't want to surround ourselves with those people out there who are getting the after it every day, holding us accountable, making us feel uncomfortable. People who are challenging us at every turn of life. Those people scare us. That's exactly where you need to be in your life, with those people who put you in a world of questioning who you are. That's exactly where you want to go. That's exactly where you grow.